Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. She is sponsored by Nishma Sam Yakashon Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Kuf Yud. We're starting from the fourth line, the two dots in the fourth line. This will be a little shorter shear just to catch up. Because Hashem will try to get today to the Mishnah on the base. Says the Gemara, "Ahu shtar de'av ktibei shonim stam." The shtar, then the shtar just said years. It did not say how many years. Mal v'omar sholish, lo v'omar shtai. Now, what does it mean years in a shtar? Rashi explains, shtar mashkanda desura, like we learned earlier in the Masechta. You give the collateral, and b'mishlim shoni elu, you will leave the karka. So the lender has a right to use the karka for 3 years. Once the year's over, he needs to leave. But how many years is it? Not so clear how much. So Malva said it was 3 years. Levi said it was 2 years. Kadi Malva achlin lepiri. Comes the Malva, eats the fruits of the 3 years, or the third year. Minem. Who's the owner of the land? The bar is the owner of the land. So he has the right. The lender already ate the fruits. So the now you want to come take the fruits away from him. He has a chazakah. Says the Gemara, so Rashi explains, even though he was not Teveh until afterwards, still you're going based on the karka. And the other one says, once he ate it, it's too late. Says the Gemara, say there Rav Kahano, Halachas of Kahano, you go based on the fruits. So about Kahano, we learned this earlier in the Masechta. The Gemara told us the idea that Becheskas Ba'alei, you made this, that when I don't know what to do, you go based on the karka, whoever holds onto the karka. Right? That was, as Rashi points out, was the Nafku base on base. That if you have a discussion between the landlord and the tenant, the question is, what is the Chodesh Sheibur? The 13th month. So you go based on the owner of the land. Said the Gemara also, there, how are you going to find out? He said 12 months. He said a year or 12 months. Then he added a month. There's no way to verify this. But here, the Eidim signed the shtar. They can find out. They can tell you what they meant 2 or 3 years. So it's something of the Galuya. So right now, we keep it on hold for now. And therefore, I'm not the truth. Right now, basically, it's not real chazakah, says the Gemara. It's just keeping it in a status quo for now. So the borrower comes and tells the lender, 1 second, this is my land, give me back your fruits. The lender already ate the fruits. So he said, 1 second, let's hold off for now, let's wait for it to be verified, and then we'll take it out. Says the Gemara, Malva was 5 years. The Levi says it was 3 years. Right? So now explains Rashi. There's something else. And the Levi says 3 years. We don't have a shtar. Right? So we don't have a shtar. He tells, okay, where's the shtar? Bring in the shtar. Let's look in the shtar. No, this shtar does say the years. He says, I'm sorry, but I lost the shtar. Everybody agrees it's at least 3 years by the lender. The borrower also agrees 3 years. The question is 5 years. So, as we're going to learn, we always say that we get close to the end of the Masechta, we'll start getting a preview of the next Masechta. Says Bava, we're going to learn about Cheskas Abatim. What's Cheskas Abatim? Someone holds on to a land for 3 years. So then, you could say, and he doesn't have any right, doesn't have a shtar. You say it's a good timer. Because the owner of the land should have claimed, if the previous owner, the owner that claims they took it wrongly, should have done a mechah, should have done a protest. What do you mean? Why are you taking my land? For 3 years, someone holds on to the shtar, not more than 3 years. Here, he's holding on to the karka for 3 years. He could have said, I bought it. And then you can't come any tightness. I said, no, it's a mashkoin, but it's a 5-year mashkoin. They disagree with this. My time. What do you mean? The lender says, I lost the shtar. We don't believe you lost the shtar. You lost a shtar that's meant to extract money from a borrower? You're hiding it. Because you want to eat another 2 years. And nobody loses stars. I don't believe a lender says he lost his shot. The Mashkata Sur was mentioned before. He lets the lender use it for a certain amount of years and then he has to go out without money. If he's going to hide the shtar, he said it was bought by me, right? So as Rashi puts out, there's not a question, there's a question of Rav Yehuda. Back to Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda said, well, after 3 years, the reason I'm Ne'eman because it could have said it's mine. So he says, so every time you have a shtar for a certain amount of years, the lender's going to hide the shtar and say it's l'kucha biyodi. You Ne'eman? That Rabbanon will do is mashkanta the sur that will cause him a hefset. Also taking Rabbanon the Moria Aro Yoiv Tasko the Kori Karo. He said, I'll tell you what the difference is. There is a way to prove that the land belongs to the borrower. Because you know who pays the taxes during that time? The owner of the land pays the taxes. And he's the one who does the ditch around the field. In other words, he shows some ownership. The lender's using it. But the taxes are being paid by the borrower. The ditch is being done by the borrower. That's the way that you prevent it. Says the Gemara, the Ara, the Leisekar, the Loyav Taskamai. What about if you have a land that doesn't pay taxes? It's exempt. Or it doesn't have the ditch. Then what? Says, you're right, in that case. So the borrower has to come and make a short, do a mecha. Within 3 years, he has to come and say, this land is mine. It's there by the lender as a mashku. Says the Gemara, what happens if he didn't do a mecha? That's his fault. So you're right, in a regular case of a mashkoin, so there's supposed to be a mecha. And maybe this goes back to what Rabbi Yehuda is saying. Rabbi Yehuda is saying over here, the lender has the right to say, it's 5 years, not 3 years. Why? Because it's clear ability. Well, the borrower says, 1 second, what do you want to do? Do a mecha. You know that I could trick the system and hide the shtar. So go ahead and make a protest. Says the Gemara, Shaila is, we know the sharecropper takes either 50% or a third. Here's this argument. The owner says it was a third. The sharecropper says it was half. Who is them? Says the Gemara, the owner's name. And then Rav says you go based on the minhag. So we know lipligi. It's not machlekes. How about the shukal arisa palgo? How about the shukal arisa tilto? It depends on the place. In other words, if the owner takes half, so we say that you minhag medina. If the owner takes a third, we trust the owner, even though the owner says he was different. Well, my brother about Shmuel, hachamabai. I feel bad the shukal arisa palgo, even a place where the minhag is half. But it's still machlekes. If you don't email balabais, ne'eman di bayomer schiv lekitu. You know what balabais ne'eman? He has another migoy. You could say, you're not my sharecropper. You're my worker. This is my land. You're my worker. You get nothing. You get a salary. So now I'm able to say, yeah, we changed the minhag. Even though usually a sharecropper takes half, here we agreed on a third. You don't believe me? I'll say you're sochav elokit. And Rashi points out, if Rashi ends, important kud over here, Rashi says, Kol nemon de kol ma b'shua seses, so you have to do a shua seses in order to be believed. Okay, says the Gemara like this, Yisayim oimim onu yishbachnu, b'alchoy b'mer avichem yishbiach, amil avirayim. So now you have like this. You have a karka. The Yisraelim say, well, all this, the shvach and benefit and profit that is in the field, we did it. And a Baal Choy doesn't take from the Yisraelim. And he says, no, this was done before. Your father did it, and I have a right for it. So who should be your right? It says the one that Kufi will be, Sober Chadin Mimar, Aro, Becheskas, Yas, Veikaina. Baal Choy Levi Raya. They're the Muhzokim. He wants to take it out for them. They have to bring a right. Amalu, O Sabos, said this old man, they have to bring a right. My time. We look at it like this. This land is supposed to be taken by the lender. So the chazak is not by the Yisraelim, the chazak is by the lender. Right? Chazak is by the lender. Even though it's not yet taken, and even though we know as Machlis B'Shah B'Sil Shtar Mizli Govis, here the karka is meant to be taken by the lender. It's considered to be by the lender as well. We learned the following thing. The what? It says Sofek Zeh Kodem, Sofek Zeh Kodem, Koitzes Veinu Noisem Dami. What's the case? So Rashi explains. We talk about in Bo Basro. Let's see Loshe Rashi and say it's a little long Rashi, but just to get into what he says. Again, we have a preview to Bo Basro again. You have a tree planted 50 amos from the city. The city came first, though they should have planted the tree, you cut the tree. In other words, if we're talking about like this, if the tree came first, you take it off, because it's within 50 amos of the city, you must take it out. You pay for it. If it's the city came first, you don't pay for it. If I'm not sure, you take it out, you don't pay for it. But what do you say here? You have to cut the tree anyway. First, you have to cut. The Lomda says, I don't know what to do with the money, but I know the tree has to be cut. He brings a raya for the bar, because by bar we're not sure. So let's skip a few lines of Rashi. So he says the din is that the lender takes the entire land, including the shvach. He pays it. So we want to bring around this. There's two discussions. The land, does it go to the lender? Answer is yes. Including the shvach, including the shvach. Question is, does the lender pay the Yisraelim? Oh, that's another question. But stage one is already done. That's why the chazaka is over here. So it's not a regular chazaka. It's a chazaka. This has to happen anyway. That's what it brings a raya. Finally, that's what we learn Baso. Something Zekod, not sure what came first. What is was it the city or the tree? Koitzet, you take it out, vein and arsidam. Alma kevad make its comments meant to be cut. Aminale I see rayo v'shkoil. So you want to take money, you have to bring a raya. It's meant to be extracted. For the same levi raya. There serve to be a raya, take money. So now, it's interesting. The Lush of the Gemara Mash just you're taking the karka. What about the shvach? I'm not so sure. Rashi put it in there that the shvach is also being taken, as the Gemara can say in a moment, which we didn't see yet in the Gemara. Says the Gemara, I see Asri Rayo, the Inu Ashbuhu. Come to say here, I have a raya, we did the shvach. So in other words, he wanted to say, here, according to Rashi, this is the stage before, we said before, that you take the land, the Yisraelim said, okay, we bring a raya. We're the ones that did shvach. Okay, so how does the lender pay the Yisraelim? Does he give them money or gives them a piece of the land? Some of the Meir gives a piece of the land. You get paid money. There's three. You make a evaluation, you give them money. What is it? When a bchor needs to pay the pashut, bchor takes double. And if the land, but he takes double only what was already there when the father died. Whatever happened after, he doesn't take double. So if there was a shvach, the bchor has to pay half of it to the pashut. How does he pay him? With money. The ksua says, surely Yisraelim. You should take from Yisraelim, you have to pay with money. The also pays it. Right? And the boys can explain that in a moment. So what do you pay with money? According to Rashi, that was part of the cheshbon before. The Gemara said, you take the land with the shvach. Then, you pay back. After, and this is what some point out, the Gemara agrees that you take the whole thing and then the question, what do you give it back? So even if you give back land, first of all you take it, then you give it back. So that's why maybe we have a chazak of the Malv in the previous case. You want to tell me that when the Baal Choy takes the karka, if the Lekech was a shbiach the karka, the Baal Choy needs to pay the Lekuchos money. The question is, he pay with money with the karka. He has to pay for the shvach that they did. Is that true? We learn the Baal Choiv does take the shvach. We saw that a few places time before. Maybe it depends how big the shvach is. Rashi learned shvach yet tefai means it's already supposed to be harvest, supposed to be cut off. Then it goes to then it goes to the lekeach. You don't really need it. Shvach she'em megillah tefai still needs a karka, goes with the karka. Says the Gemara, you have it many times. You always give it to the lender, even fully grown grain. Even if it's fully grown shvach. So more like kashu. It depends what the loan is. If the loan is the value of the karka and the shvach, the lender takes it, and the borrower needs to go back to the and the lekeach, the buyer, needs to go back to the borrower and say, give me back for everything I did. But if the loan is only the karka, so the shvach needs to get back. If the loan is not connected both, the yair l'zuzil lekeach. So we just say you don't pay him back with the land, you pay him back with money. So if I have the zuzil lekeach beside clay, you give him money and let him go. So that's good if you hold. This machlokes that we have. We learned it a little bit earlier, but Bakam learned it. Let's say it comes to the lender, it says, give me the land. It's collateral. The borrower says, the lekeach says, I'll give you money instead. Can you give him money instead or not? So there's a machlokes. So according to Bandoma that says that the buyer can give him money in lieu of the karka. If the buyer cannot give money in lieu of the karka, so understood, the lender has the right for the karka. Now, the buyer says, one second, why am I losing? So I'll give you back money instead. But if the buyer could tell the lender, I'm not giving you the karka, I'll give you money. So here, he doesn't have money to give him. But portion belongs to him. Of course, that's as if he's giving money. So he should be able to take the land. That's the same story. That's what one says. If there's no money for the buyer, you can't kick away the lender. Sure, that makes sense. If the buyer has money, you can kick away the Baal Choiv. If I did have money, I would kick you out from the entire land. I would keep the land by me. Now that I don't have money, so at least the shvach, that I have a right for money. It's as if I gave you money. The karka is worth 100, the shvach is another 20. So you took the 120, what's paying 20? It's like, one second, 20 belongs to me. That means $20 you owe me. So instead of me giving you the land, I'll give you the money, which is the right of the buyer to do according to this mandama. So why don't we say that? Says the Gemara, this land wasn't just regular collateral. It was a poitike. What is a poitike? He says, this will be, that's what a poitike is. A poitike, that's the lotion. A poitike, the only place you can take out your loan is from this land, not for any place else. And therefore what? Therefore, the lender is considered to be more of an owner. Even if you hold that usually you could pay the lender money and kick him out, that's only a regular collateral. Because the borrower can give you back money or a land. So I'm standing instead of the borrower. But in the case of a poitiki, the lender has the right to the land. Because it's a specific collateral. So there everybody agrees that the buyer cannot take the money and give you the land back, because the land is much more mishurba to the lender. So that's why in this case, if he has to pay him back, how does he pay him back? The scholar of the Gemara is you pay back the money now with the land. And once again, that's only if the loan doesn't have the value of the karka and the shvach. But if the loan has the value of the karka and the shvach, the lender takes the whole thing, doesn't pay anything back to the buyer, and the buyer will go back to the borrower and tell the borrower, you have to pay me back. He has a tiny now on the borrower. That's the idea of lekeach. That's the idea of the responsibility of lekeach, which in this is included in lekeach b'achrayus, that he has some kind of a title from the title insurance from the borrower. If not, he loses the karka, as we learned. We'll stop over here in the Mishnah, continue from the Mishnah in the next year.